group. Let me stop talking. All right. Welcome to Unlock Your First Six Figures Morning Show. I am your host, Shay Cannon. I'm an award-winning fractional chief operating officer with an exclusive clientele of 6 and 7 figure CEOs. Yes, I own pearls. You don't have to be an AKA to own pearls. So she done got me off track, y'all. My bad. Blame Heather. She's right here on my screen, but blame Heather. So I know, right? Hollywood Squares. So I am here to help you because if you are struggling and spinning your wheels to make your first six figures, you are in the right place. I am here to help you to make the money and create time freedom. Let's make the money and create time freedom. My freedom looks like living and working my business from anywhere in the world. I'll spare you the 5-year journey of doing that and just let you know that I'm currently living my best life and working my best business in Mexico. Okay. So Blog Talk has released. We have done the full 4 phases on Blog Talk. So this week, what we're talking about is the effective use of your VA, your virtual assistant. However, it goes for any team member that you have. They don't have to be a virtual team member. They could be any team member within your business. So the blog for this week has been at shaycannon.com/VA. Okay. Now, there are 4 phases to make sure you get effective use of your VA or team member. The first phase is you need to prepare your business, okay? You need to prepare your business to have people come in your business and work with you. You don't just invite people into your chaos, okay? You got to prepare the business, organize the business, and get it ready. So that was the first phase. That replay is on Monday. Check out that replay, okay? The second phase is a hiring phase. Unbeknownst to a lot of you, you don't just tell people, okay, I agree to pay you, let's get started. No, and that's probably why you're not getting effective use of your team members. So there's an entire phase and process that you go through for hiring, okay? So you want to hear more about that? The replay of that was on Tuesday. Then on yesterday, we talked about getting down to the nitty-gritty, right? How do you train and develop these people? Okay, that's at the heart of getting effective use. Some of you are hiring people.
Okay, it's not just me then, right? Because I see.
No, she froze.
Okay.
Okay. Hey everyone, Shay froze.
Shay's gonna be back.
She'll be back momentarily.
She froze.
Yeah.
Heather said, "Hey everyone, stay froze." And it's cold outside.
Yeah, so she's basically giving us a recap of what she talked about this week, which was preparation, hiring, job training, and development for our VAs. And we have access to the replays, I guess. But the thing is that we need all of those. And then today she's talking about evaluation. So I'm looking forward to the evaluation part because, I mean, I think we all have different ideas of how to evaluate employees. You know,
well, I think we've all been through performance reviews at work, right? So we have that experience, but we don't necessarily want to parlay that experience on to.
And we want it to be effective, you know what I mean? Right. And we want to know what we're supposed to be judging because, you know, if you're nitpicking over silly stuff like somebody's fingernails or you don't like their hairdo, that's not, you know what I mean?
That's not effective.
That's not helping your business. Unless it is, unless, you know, that's the area in which, you know, you need their nails done, you know, but.
I would, if I had to, I was able to borrow someone's VA for an event. They ran like the tech for, you know, like when you do your webinar for me. I never realized how amazing that would be, or that was to have somebody. So if I had to evaluate that person just on that, they'd get 5 stars across the board, right? But I would know exactly what criteria I was grading them on.
Right.
You know, for like audience engagement, running the technology, responsiveness, you know, whatever it would be, you know.
So did we lose Shay altogether?
We did.
She'll be back in. We're trying to fill the time. I think also we're unfair in a lot of our evaluations because I don't know about you, but whenever, you know, you go out to dinner and they send you an email afterwards, it's like, evaluate your experience. And I'm like, well, I had to wait 10 minutes for them to refill my water. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And that's not necessarily
Right.
germane to the, yeah.
Right. So Shay's gonna get us all
Stay back. Oh,
together.
no,
Yeah, she
there
looks
she
like
is.
she's coming back in. So she's gonna get us right about this evaluation. So
Yes.
I am. So for some reason, y'all, the
Oh, there
power
you
went
go.
off. So y'all know I have a portable generator for my Wi-Fi, and you know I have other devices with its own Wi-Fi. So I be ready.
Yeah.
I be ready. Okay.
There
So
you
thank
go.
y'all for keeping the show going. So I don't like the angle of this camera on my iPad, but we'll be all right. Okay, so evaluation, right? Well, yesterday we talked about training and development is where I left off. Y'all saw the power come back on? Y'all saw that? Thanks, power. But anyway, training and development. We want to get people trained and we want to develop their skill set as we're training them, right? As they're with us for a long amount of time. Even if someone has a skill set and they are an expert, what happens is you still have to train them on how to work with you, how to work in your business, how to work with your resources, your strengths, your weaknesses, all of those good things, okay? So you need that, go back to yesterday's replay. Today, what we're going to talk about is evaluation, okay? You should be evaluating. A lot of you are firing people and thinking about after you fire them, you're just like, oh, it's not working out. And then you go back and evaluate, well, what happened? No, we should be evaluating all along. So there's a process for evaluating, okay? So again, regular feedback, okay? Regular feedback. You give them a project to do, you give them an assignment to do, they should get feedback on that assignment, right? Whether it be positive or negative. Feedback is both, right? Hey, this was great. This is what I liked about it. This is what I want you to keep doing like you did, right? Hey, this needs a little work. This is how I changed it to make it better. So next time incorporated this. That's regular feedback, okay? Then you need to be doing performance reviews, okay? And these performance reviews should be happening, especially once you have hired them, 30 days out, 60 days out, 90 days out, and an annual review, okay? Now, that's when you first hire them, the 30, 60, 90 days, right? But if you have team members that are beyond just being hired, we still want to review them regularly, just probably not in days like that, okay? So you can do, if you have given them their KPIs, their key performance indicators, you can have them to tell you how the KPIs are going monthly, and then you can do a formal evaluation quarterly in addition to the annual. Okay, so just like you plan for your business quarterly, you check in on that plan monthly, and then you evaluate week to week. That's how the evaluation of your team members should look. And because you're waiting to the end of a year, or you're waiting till you're fed up to evaluate, this is a part of why you're not getting effective use of your team members. Okay, so have them do a self-assessment. I love having people do team members do a self-assessment and have it due back to me before I do my assessment. Why? Because they can remind me, if they are smart, they're going to take that time to show me how they're a valued team member, right? They may admit to some things that they need to work on, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But they're going to remind me of things that they've done well. And I can be reminded of that, because sometimes we're only human, right? Sometimes we forget the time that they saved us money. We forget the time that they, made a client very, very happy, and therefore that client renewed. We forget all of that because lately y'all been jacked up. You've been fucking up. So I don't remember all the good things you did, right? So give them a chance to self-assess and tell you some of the things that they've done well before you give them the annual evaluation, all right? And so that's what we're doing with evaluating. I would love to know, not just from today, but from this week, right? From this week, how do you think this could change your business, right? Now that you know that there are phases to having team members, whether they're a virtual assistant or not, how do you feel like this is going to change your business? Do you really feel like this information was valuable? And how valuable was it for you in particular? So we're going to make that the question. Do you feel like this was transformational information? And how was it valuable to you in particular? And I'm going to start with Teray.
Morning, everybody. So it's absolutely valuable. Of course it is, Shay. This is the Shay Morning Show. She only gives valuable information. Hello, stop asking dumb stuff, Shay. Anyway, what I will say is that I'm looking at this list, and it feels like something extra added to my plate. That's what it feels like. Now,
It feels like
it feels like extra. So I know, I mean, it makes sense. We have to be able to put people in place to get stuff off of our plate, to delegate.
yes.
In order to delegate, you got to put all this. This is an extensive list. I mean, I gotta prepare my business. I gotta write out my SOPs, and I have to have a training. I gotta recruit. I gotta review, interview candidate. It's a lot. But I know that once you get through that muck, then you hire this puts you in a position to hire the right person, and then keep the right person, because that's what evaluation does, right? It's just help you keep the right person. So I mean, it's absolutely valuable. I think we need it even in small business, even whenever my business isn't making money yet, but it's going to be. That's the plan. So I need to be able to think in advance to the things that I need to put in place for my future success, and that this is absolutely one of the things that are necessary.
It is. And this is why a lot of things are over.
Okay, so it's not just me. We can't hear her, right?
You sound like you're talking through bubbles of water.
Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, and unmute. Did that help? That help?
I mean, we can hear what you're saying, but can you hear me now? We can always hear that. So
A little bit.
yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so I mean, at the end of the day, business needs what it needs. Can't hear? Okay, let's see if this internet came back on the thing. It did not. It did not. So let's try. We're gonna try something else. Okay, what about now? Can you hear me now? Is it clear? Okay, I put the earphones in. But we're gonna try some new stuff until we get it right. Okay, so at the end of the day, that's the problem with a lot of small businesses, right? We're small. We only have so many resources. We only have so much budget, so much time, and it's just us. But unfortunately for us, business still takes what it takes, right? It still takes what it takes. If we were a corporation, there would be an entire department dedicated to this, but it's not, right? So it's still left up to us to do it well. Just like we have to do the service, even though it's just us, just like we have to do the marketing and sales, even though it's just us. It doesn't matter that it's just us. It doesn't matter that it could be overwhelming. What matters is it got to get done, right? Now, this is where what comes into play is technology, right? Technology helps us. When we don't have the people, we start with the tech. And I see the connection has been restored on the thing. But you start to use tech. Like we talked about some AI that can help with this. We talked about some automations that can help with this. We need to employ them though. But what's happening is because we're overwhelmed, because it's a lot, we're just doing what we feel like we can fit in. Instead of thinking through, how can I add technology to help me get all of these phases in? If I can't hire somebody to do all of it, how can I hire somebody to do a part of it? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, when we just throw people into our business and they don't work out, we set them up for failure. We set them up for failure. And so guess what they're going to do? Probably fail. So yeah, I get it. That is overwhelm is our life as solopreneurs and entrepreneurs. It really is, but we have to figure it out or we can't grow. And then guess what? When we don't have systems and processes, we definitely cannot scale. So yeah, I get it. I understand it, and I am empathetic to it. However, we still got to do it. But thank you for that, Teray. So Heather, the question is, do you feel like the information this week was transformational? And what do you feel like, I forgot the second part of my question, so much electronic shit is going on. I think the second part was, what is going to be most transformational for you in your business? I think is what's the question. If not, remind me what the question was. And Heather, you're on mute if you're talking to us. All right. Joanna, look, I think Heather might have left the room for
Yeah, she had a grandbaby on her lap.
All right, Joanna, what was most transformational and what is most transformational for you from the whole week?
I think the main thing is just to have this information in my hip pocket. I learned a lot just about what I need when I get to the point that I have to have this service in place. So just knowing what to do when I get there is the most powerful for me and the most transformational because I'm headed that direction.
All right, all right. And so I made a mistake and turned the whole computer off. So now I can't even see nothing on the computer. So if Facebook, I can't see your comments, but hey, keep commenting. I'll come back and answer. Thank you for that, Duana. Glow, what was most transformational about this week on how to get effective use of team members, and what do you know is going to be transformational for your particular business? I think I keep switching
Hey,
the question up. Hey.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like, what? Okay. So everything that you provided for me was this week was definitely informative. I learned a lot yesterday when it comes to me picking an assistant. So I know that they need to be more of an expert than a doer. That's been sticking in my head. It was sticking in my head all day yesterday, and I woke up this morning thinking about that as well too. So I feel like, once I am after the holidays and I'm ready to get, to choose who I want to be an assistant, I know that I need to focus on more of an expert and go back to your blog post and look that over to make sure that I am doing the right thing. So therefore, the state and all that, the government and all that other stuff won't come after me.
No, that's real. All right. Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? I'm back on the computer. Look, we're back to our regular technology here. I can look in the camera without seeing my double chin. That's much appreciated. All right. So Dr. LaFera, do you feel like this week has been transformational, especially being that you're one of the ones that requested this week? Do you feel like the week has been transformational? And what exactly will be transformational for your business in particular?
I do feel like this week has been transformational, Shay. As far as what it will help me with my business, it will make me be more structured with my evaluations, and I call myself cleaning up before they came in. But it will make me be more structured. I knew I needed to do it, and that's why I have paused to see like exactly what I want someone to do. I liked what you said about the doer, the thinker, and I think it was one other category, but I like what you said about them.
Decision maker.
Yeah, and a decision maker. Yeah, because I knew I needed a decision maker, and I don't feel bad anymore because I always felt kind of bad because I'm really busy, and you know that. Yeah. And so I always take on like a lot, and that pulls me away from everything else, and so I feel like I don't get stuff done. And so I've always known I needed a decision maker, but I felt guilty about like, saying, because other people brag about like, oh, you just hire them and train them. I'm like, I don't have time to train anybody. I need to hire somebody who knows what they're doing. So
and that doesn't work for everybody. And everybody's stage of business doesn't need that. And guess what? Again, I hate when people give blanket information, right? Because at the end of the day, things have to work for you in your business. No matter if you're doing it the way you should be doing it or not, it has to work for you and your business. And that means we have to consider your weaknesses and your strengths. We have to consider your business's weaknesses and strengths. We have to consider your resources, your capital. We have to consider all of that stuff, right? Some people start with a decision maker, but you have to have the budget for a decision maker, right?
Right.
And guess what? That decision maker is not, you still gonna have to build a team around a decision maker, right? Exactly. When I come into people's businesses as a fractional COO, I'm not supposed to be the one doing all this heavy execution because guess what? I can't see high level and be in the weeds, right? Doers are in the weeds. That's why they can't see high level stuff. And you have to explain the high level stuff to them, right? And high level people, when you put them in the weeds, they no longer can see high level. They have the skill set, but they can't see it because you got them in the weeds executing and stuff. And so it's just, don't feel guilty about nothing, first of all, okay? It's all Entrepreneurship, let me take you back to my definition. It's trial and error. We got to figure it out. And when we hear people say things, we can consider it, but it may or may not have anything to do with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes it's, you know, great, good for you. You know what I'm saying? Now shut up. Sometimes it's that it's like that. And sometimes it's okay, let me keep that in mind, but that's not where I am right now. Right. So please stop feeling guilty, because we got enough going on without feeling guilty about stuff that we can't do nothing about.
We do.
Yes.
But yeah,
So,
it helped because it gave me structure. And today, like, so I will be doing like regular evaluations, not just evaluations when they don't do something right. I will be doing like regular, so you'll know, like, you got an evaluation coming up.
yes.
You know, that sort of thing. So yeah, this was real helpful.
Cool beans. And that meant a lot to me, seeing how you were one of 2 people that requested this week. So that was great. Miss Eva Darling, was this week transformational for you to get effective use out of your team? And what was the thing that's most transformational for you in your business? And let's see if Eva can come off the mic. If not, Heather, get ready. We're circling back to you. All right, Heather, could you answer the question, please?
Hey, first of all, what I found valuable about this week is because I know I need help, but having definitions of how to, you know, like the doer, the thinker, like that was really helpful for me, because what I think I need is a doer, just so that I can direct them to do what I need them to do, which is this is that like back end admin stuff I don't really want to do. Okay. Right. And so that was really helpful. But also, because I watched the replays from Tuesday and yesterday, and I think what I found most valuable about yesterday in particular was the training and development part of it, because even though some platforms seem to be ubiquitous, right? Like everybody knows how to use certain platforms, others are not. And so, like, how do you have to find somebody who knows maybe most of what you already use, or at least feels like a good fit, who could be trained to use what you use because they've done other things, right? With similar. So that was helpful for me.
Cool. I love that. Now, what I'm going to warn you about with the doer thing is you have to be prepared to get pinged all the time, because don't forget, a doer only does what you tell them to do, when you tell them to do it, how you tell them to do it. Anything that arises that is different than the last thing that you said they were supposed to do, they're coming to you every time. So maybe look at starting with a thinker so that they're doing, but at least they can come to you with solutions, possible solutions, when they come to you with a problem. Okay. So think about that. And don't forget that. So over in Facebook, now that I can see Facebook again, Demetra said, good morning. Dania said, good morning. Kalia said, good morning. But we don't have any questions. So anybody still watching over there on Facebook, feel free to put in the comments if you found this week transformational, and what in particular did you find transformational for your particular business. So, I mean, at the end of the day, right? As a fractional COO, I manage teams as a part of the service that I give, right? I manage teams. And it's sometimes hard for business owners to let go of their baby, especially to chop it up in pieces and give it to other people. Right? That's like literally how it feels to us as entrepreneurs when we're going from solopreneurs to getting help in the business, right? We feel like we're turning over our baby. And then when we start hiring multiple people, we done chop the baby up and we give in different pieces, right? And so what we'll do is, even when we're not trying to micromanage, what happens is you're looking for people to do it the way that you do it, the exact way. And you don't want to do that. You want to look for them to get the result that you need, and that could be a result better than you ever got, right? So we have to shift our mindset, right, in that arena. Also, yesterday I shared with you on screen, you know, who to know to hire, how to know who to hire first, right? I kind of gave you my rules that I use when I'm determining who to hire, because it's not just a blanket, oh, you need a VA, a blanket, oh, you need a project manager. It's not a blanket anything. Again, your business is unique. It has its own fingerprint, right? And so it needs its own blueprint to go with that. By the way, if you need a blueprint, hit me up. However, one of the things that I also think about when I think about hiring and inviting people into the business, it really does feel like you're inviting somebody into your house, right? It really does feel that personal. But we have to remember that we need help and we can't scale without the help, okay? We can't scale without the help. And so not only are we picking who do we need to hire for our particular business, and not only are we going through these phases so that they can help us, right? But we have to be, I want to say Johnny on the spot, but we have to stay on top of it, because whatever you push out there and let go of and let it just do what it want to do, it's never going to be what you need it to be. Even when you're raising your kids, you don't just tell it the rules and let it go out there and live. No, you're constantly having to reinforce your child. You're constantly having to remind your child. You're constantly having to repeat yourself. Same thing when you're teaching other people how to be in your business, right? So when we say we don't have time for that, then you don't have time for the results that they could bring you. All right, Teray, you got your hand up. What's up?
When do we know? So there are people who have like a whole team of VAs. How do we know when to hire an employee instead of continuing to use VAs?
So I will tell you right now that is not my area of expertise, which is why I brought in and tagged Delmar Johnson, because I don't really deal with W-2 over independent contractors, right? I just deal with your team as you have a team, how you hire them. You know what I'm saying? Is it part-time? Is it full-time? What are their duties? You know what I'm saying? That type of, what is their skill set? That's what I deal with, because I'm managing, right? Now, I will say one thing I have learned is when you see, to me, it's not a question of W-2 over independent contractor. And this is just my opinion. And my opinion may be rooted in some type of block. So, because I'm not the expert on W-2 versus independent contractor, right? But for me, it's not a matter of W-2 versus independent contractor. It's a matter of part-time versus full-time. It's a matter of low skills versus high skills. You see what I'm saying? Because you can have contractors in your business that are highly skilled and full-time. You see what I'm saying? So now what's the difference between them and a W-2? So I think that when you have a brick and mortar, you know what I'm saying, you are more apt to want W-2 employees to come in the building. You know what I'm saying? When you are such a micromanager that you can't let go of trying to push how you want things, if you're doing all those things that make them an employee and you can't stop, let's go and make them an employee before you get into some legal trouble. You know what I'm saying? So things like that is how I see it. But just high level, when to pick one, I don't see a difference for real. Because I'm very willing, because I'm probably never going to live in the United States again, right? And so I'm always going to live places to where my team members could be all over. And I'm fine with having them being contractors and having them, some of them being full-time. And then incorporating part-time, and then incorporating project-based, right? Because that's basically going to be the different ones. You're going to have somebody come in and be full-time. You're going to have somebody be part-time, and then you'll have somebody be project-based, right? So the other mindset thing I want to remind y'all is you might be sitting there, you may be saying to yourself, well, I can't afford a team right now. That may be true. It may not be true. Number one, check your prices. Some of y'all charging so low you can't hold a team member. Pull your prices up. And what that's going to allow you to do is serve them more excellently. You're charging more, but it allows you to serve them more excellently because it's not just you serving them, right? Also, you have to look at it like, if I hire this person, right, that will take over, like Heather said, the menial administrative things, that should free me up and give me more time to make more money. So the money is going to be in your performance. But see, what happens is some of us get a VA in, admin stuff, and you so busy micromanaging and still doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing, you're not making more money, right? I can't tell you how many times I've come into a business, evaluated what the gaps are, pulled the CEO out of stuff and hired people in those positions. And the CEO didn't do what only they could do. So there was no difference. You might as well keep doing what you was doing then, right? So if you're not going to be the face of the business, if you're not going to go out there and create partnerships, if you're not going to do the things that only the CEO can do, then let me go and give you these administrative tasks back then. Let's save some money on this end then. You ain't making no more money, right? So some people, and it's only human nature in us, right? For us to feel like I'm paying money, but I'm still having to do work. I feel like if I'm paying money, I shouldn't have to do work. That's not true. Because most of the time, you don't even have a budget enough to pay all the people you would need to pay for you not to still feel like you got to do work, right? I've had CEOs tell me, I'm paying $20,000 in payroll. I shouldn't be working this hard. Well, sweetie, $20,000 in payroll is covering the base minimum of the people that you need. You're not out of the business yet. They love to try to let go of the business, and that's where they get in trouble. And every hire should make sense. Not just be doing it because somebody told you that's what you need. Not just be doing it because you see other people doing it, right? Not just be doing it because somebody who got the same business that you got has done it. What makes sense for your business? Do you know there are $1 million companies out here who are making really less in profit than you are in your business that's not $1 million business? Well, what is the purpose of that? I'll never remember when I was a young adult, right? And I had a low-skilled job. I actually felt like I was working to pay daycare. Now, I sound like I save money if I just stop working. Like, what is this, right? And so we can't just be out here working to pay all of these expenses when at the end of the day, we're less profitable than a business that's bringing in less revenue than we are. We have to look at all of these things. And I know it's hard, but that's where your financial people come in if you're not good at numbers, right? Because we want to be profitable. We don't want to just hit 6 figures. We want to have a profitable 6 figures. And 6 figures is the milestone, right? It's going to be our new floor, not our ceiling, right? It's just a milestone. But yeah, we just got to look at things differently. So when you're thinking about, that's why I gave you that thing yesterday of considering who do you need the most, because we basically need to be hiring based on what kind of money we're going to be making, right? How is it going to allow us to make more money? It doesn't mean that person is in a position that's a money-making position every time. But if that person that you're bringing in allows the people that are in the money-making positions to make more money, it makes sense. Okay? So let's go to Eva. Are you there? Can you come off the mic? I'm not sure if you're there or not. Zandra is over on Facebook, and what she said was, yes, this was good. I missed yesterday, so I need to check the replay. Please check the replay, Zandra. It was good. I want y'all to have the complete series. What you got, Eva?
I'm sorry, Shay. I was eating at the same time. So I apologize.
Well, now we jealous because we hungry too. But Eva, was this week, do you feel like this week was transformational? Do you feel like it was valuable? And what in particular would be transformational for your business from the entire week?
So the whole week was very transformational, everything. But today, I think yesterday and today really hit home when you were speaking about employees versus subcontracting, and then having family members as employees and then not. So I'm in the position where my only employees are family members. And so I'm trying to learn how to put myself in a position where I will be able to hire out. But like you just said, it's very important that I'm making enough to be able to hire people. So I'm still working in my business myself. I'm still at that point. So I'm realizing, like you said yesterday, you know how many clients you can take on by yourself. You know how many your employee can take on by themselves. And so I'm trying to take your other advice in making sure that I'm building good relationships with my clients that I have now, strengthening them, making sure that they're longevity, because I've had them for a while now, and I want to keep that going. So that's really where I'm at, just trying to focus in, honing in. Then I also like the fact that you were talking about self-assessments. I think that me doing self-assessments also for my clients may be a good point that I can start with, because a lot of them don't have any type of structure with their businesses. You know, some of them have 1 or 2 Airbnbs, they're just starting. So I'm basically growing with them as they grow. So I think that was something that I took to heart as well.
Cool beans. I love that. Now, one thing I will say, I'm not a fan of hiring family, but you got to do what you got to do. But this is the question that I would ask, right? And the question is, sometimes we hire family because we can pay them less, but they also perform less. So I wonder, we always have to ask ourselves then, if I was willing to pay someone that is not family member a little more, could I get more? Therefore, make more money. So just keep that in mind. Eva, I'm not saying that applies to you or doesn't apply to you. I'm saying keep it in mind.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I want to go back over a few things since we got time left to wrap the week up. Can y'all see my screen? And does it say that team general, who to hire first? Okay, cool. So I just want to remind y'all about how to look at your particular business to decide who to hire first. Okay. Who is going to unlock money that's already waiting on you? Okay. Who is going to help you to make more money consistently? Who it can get you out of the weeds of the administrative stuff so that you can focus on the money-making stuff. That's what Heather said, right? Who can also service clients like you can service clients so that you can open up the capacity and make more money? Who can do what you can't do or are not doing well? Okay. Who can do what you don't want to do? Okay. And who can do what you shouldn't be doing? And the shouldn't be doing is you might be good at it. You might have the knowledge of it. You might want to do it. It might be your favorite part, but would you pay $100 an hour for somebody else to do it? Just assuming like you as the owner get this outrageous amount of money per hour, right? I want to remind you of that. Now I'm going to go back to the training I did for key support solutions, right? And I just want to tell y'all there are 3 types of people resources, right? We talked about doers, thinkers, and decision makers, but I really want to drive it home. So I'm going to go back to this training that I did. So a doer, they are task oriented, okay? They only execute the tasks that they are assigned and execute them how you direct them. Should anything go off course with that task, they have to come back to you. And that's why they keep coming to you and you get that feeling of, I should just do it myself. No, it's because you hired a doer, okay? Doers look like virtual assistants with basic administrative skills, a secretary, a cashier, a fast food cook, that type of thing. Okay, those are doers. They when they go off course from the recipe that you gave them, they got to come back to you because you the real cook. All right. Now, thinkers, they are problem solvers. Okay, they execute the task like a doer, but usually have more information on where that task is in the big picture of things. So they can be results oriented, okay? They ask questions. They give their thoughts on how it could be done better. They present problems with recommended solutions. That's the value of a thinker, okay? Some of y'all got decision fatigue, and when somebody bring you a problem, you just shut it down because you ain't got time. But if somebody were to bring you a problem and a solution for you to consider, you could be like, yes, please start with that. You know what I'm saying? All right. Oh, I forgot. Let's go down this way. All right. So thinkers are usually leads, managers, roles that require them to receive little supervision. Okay. So they don't have to be a supervisor, but they're in a role that requires little supervision only based upon because they're a thinker. Okay. So sometimes it looks like leads, but sometimes it's just a damn good employee or team member, right? That just needs little supervision. Let's go to decision makers. The decision makers take the big picture and apply it to specialized areas of your business, okay? They execute it using leadership, strategy, systems, and systems could be your processes because a whole bunch of processes together is a system, okay? And the resources, okay? They look like the owners, department heads, directors, chief officers. Those are decision makers, okay? Partners. So I hope that gives you a better view of that doer, thinker, decision maker. And again, everybody can't start with the same kind of resource, right? Everybody can't start with a decision maker. You might want one real bad, but maybe you can't start there. But then there are people who start with decision makers and they pay the decision makers more than they're getting paid in their own business because they need the business to grow, right? And they need that expertise. And some people are starting with thinkers because, damn it, I can't tell you everything to do. I can't do everything. Now I feel like I'm still in the role too much, right? And now it's stressing me out and I can't even perform in other areas. But you still have to have the resources to pay a thinker. So we have to think about these things because sometimes we're carrying the burden of coming up with the amounts to pay people, and you're paying, quote unquote, out of pocket because you're not charging enough to begin with. Okay? So I want you to, when you start looking at going to team, you got to stop confidence pricing your stuff. And we got to start now doing market value and above, because that's how you pay for your team. Otherwise, you're going to be working yourself to death. If you have a husband, he's going to be looking at you crazy because he the one got a 9-to-5 and you pulling from the 9-to-5 money to pay for these people and the business is not profitable. You're causing problems, right? Some of y'all are getting some of these capital loans, and that's fine. But anytime you get a loan, you need to have not only a plan for how to pay it back, but a plan for how to flip that thing. How are we making more money with this money? It's no different than people getting windfalls, so income tax refunds and all that kind of stuff, and it gets absorbed by regular bills. It did nothing to change their life, right? So if y'all are getting these capital loans and it's being absorbed into the business and it did nothing to grow your business, and you didn't have a plan for it to grow your business, and now you don't even have a plan to pay it back, you're doing it wrong. Okay? So I need you to stop thinking about team members as an expense and look at them as how can they help me get more money in my business? And start there. And we go I know it sounds overwhelming, like Teray said, because you got to do all of these things for each person you bring in the business, but just start with one. Go back to the chart. Who can help you get money that's just waiting on you to get? That's them paying for themselves already. Now I feel like I'm on a soapbox and about to preach and pass the offering, so I'm going to stop. But any questions from anybody? We about at the top of the hour anyway. As y'all know, it's so funny because when we have problems, right? I'm such a problem solver myself. I always have been, that when we have problems with the show, I just keep rocking. Because I'll never forget. Man, y'all remember the day we had them trolls come in here and we was like, what the hell is going on right now? What is life? And I was like, okay, you gone. One by one. And then we just kept rolling, right? Because life is going to throw you some curveballs, right? Business is definitely going to throw you some curveballs. Your goal is to rise to the occasion as best as possible, take all the lessons from it and keep rolling. Keep rolling. Like, I had no idea when the power went out. I didn't know if y'all was still on here. I didn't know if I was going to start another live. I didn't know what I was going to have to do. I just knew I was like, okay, let's go plug in this generator. Let's get this Wi-Fi back. Then I plug it in and the Wi-Fi didn't turn on. I was like, okay, I'll leave you over here. Let's just turn this cell data on this iPad and get to rocking, right? But that's what a thinker looks like. Yes, something happened, but how do we fix it? I don't need nobody to be around here squirreling out on the problem and the energy of the problem. Where we go? See, that's not the culture of my business. I ain't gonna even be able to do it. Now I gotta manage you and the problem. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Well,
I think
what you got?
I just had a comment. I'm thinking out loud and I'm sharing my thoughts. I think at this point, especially at the end of the year, as we go into the next year, I feel like all of us are trying to decide what new thing can I apply to my business that will help grow, my business, or, marketing, email list, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I feel like at this point, I want to start making a list of money-making activities, mm-hmm. so that I can increase each of them. And then all of the duties behind these money-making activities and where I can plug someone else in.
Yes.
So that I'm not doing all the, you know what I mean? I need to hire tech. I need to employ Chat GPT. I need to, you know what I mean? I need to look to see what duties a VA can do. What can I take off my plate? So in the last 2 weeks, I've actually been taking stuff off of my personal plate. I ordered one of those RoboVacs that mop floors as well. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I have all of our vitamins on, you know, subscribe. All of our bills are on auto pay. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, on Fridays, I sit down and I look at the budget. No, I don't have time to do, you know what I mean?
I don't.
Husband, you do that. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So in the last 2 weeks, I've just been doing inventory in my personal life so I can take time away so that I can put it in my business. But now that I'm here, I need to look at my business to see what I do, what I need to do, what's not getting done, what makes the money, what, you know, how to increase the money making activity. You know what I mean? So this is just what's going on in my head. I just figured I'd share.
Yeah, I love that. So actually what I was going to share right before you start talking, maybe actually be in line with that. So for me, on my service side, I require that my clients have teams for me to manage, right? Because again, I can't go down in the weeds and do what my expertise is at the same time. You're going to have to pick, period. And I don't want to be an executor. That's not what I do. However, when it comes to my coaching side, that I'm now transitioning into my coaching side, I need a team for my coaching side. I'm about to start evaluating what team I need. So what I did was I kind of decided what were the phases of me hiring look like. And so let me share that with y'all. This is an early draft, right? So my phase 1 is I need to hire people to pull me out of the flow of the day-to-day. And my day-to-day doesn't look like service on this coaching side. My day-to-day looks like marketing and sales, right? So that's who I need. And so I wrote that, right? And so my role now is I'm doing my coaching and my training. So you see how I don't just have, what do I want this phase 1 to do? I have, what will I be doing, right? Phase 2 is I want to basically give up the sales. I want to bring in people that's going to help to service or coach my people, right? And I need a coaching assistant. Now we're into the administrative. Okay, so that's what I want that to do. So now right here, I just want to be doing quarterly trainings, the bonus trainings. Okay, phase 3 is now I want to add a program operations manager. Okay, and me as the coach, I might come in and do the semi-annual workshops. You know what I'm saying? Phase 4 is I want to be like Eartha Kitt in Boomerang, where I'm walking around telling my Marcus, darling, I have no panties on, but I ain't running no company. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing nothing but what I want to do. Okay, so you might have to phase out what that looks like for you, right? Now, what I'm gonna go through is I'm gonna go through here and see what is the tech that I can hire to do some of this stuff. So what we already know is that's some tech, right? Video editor, that's gonna have to probably be a person to run the tech, right? This might have to be a person to run the tech. But when I go through here and figure out what the tech is, what tech I'm gonna get, right? And then is that more than one person to run that tech? Is that a person with a skill set in that position? Do you see how that works? So that's what I want y'all to do. Yes, it's overwhelming. Anything that we do worth its grain and salt is going to be overwhelming because it's going to give us big returns. But we just break it down. That's what they mean by how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It don't mean you don't eat the elephant because it's so big. It don't mean you starve to death. So just because we have all these things that we have to do doesn't mean our business starves. It means we take this shit one bite at a time, and we have to know the right way to do it so we know how we're eating, right? All right. You're not in this by yourself. Anybody trying to grow a business is going through the same thing that you are. And these are definitely problems of somebody trying to get to their first 6 figures. This is why I'm teaching it to you. This is why I took an entire module out of a course that people licensed from me to teach their people, right? So you might want to take this week and hit that save video, save video, save video. to keep it in your Facebook collection of saved videos to come back to. Because it's definitely one of those things that I might not be ready to hire right now, but I'm not going to remember everything she said 3 months from now when I'm ready to hire my first person. But I can come back to these videos, right? Yeah. So tell your business besties to get in here. Tell the business besties that you invited to accept the invitation, right?
I've
Let
been
them
trying to
know.
get mine in here, Auntie Shay.
I know. Just remind them. Just tell them the value. Again, we don't do conventions. We just opportunities. We show you opportunities. I'm just going to talk about how I'm not struggling with what you're struggling with because of where I am in my community and how I get help in my community, right? So yeah. Next week, I'm looking forward to the workshop. I am gonna say I've been using the word transformational a lot, but this way is revolutionary, right? Because the number one problem that we have, some people have problems being consistent with content. Some of y'all aren't producing content at all, but a lot of us are doing content. A lot of us are taking a lot of time to do content, right? And content is one of those things that already doesn't directly pay off instantly. So we kind of feel like we're wasting our time, right? We kind of feel like we're wasting our efforts. Maybe it should be somewhere else, but what we understand is without content, how are we bringing people into our business? We just need to know how to do it the right way. I sat down, and with me coming on this coaching side, because my service side, I've never had to say anything about my service side. I am so excellent what I do on that service side that people just kept coming, and it kept coming off of word of mouth. That's it, right? And when I decided I didn't want to scale that side, I didn't need anything other than word of mouth. On this coaching side, though, this is scalable. I need all the people, right? I need all the people. So now I got to get into that hunt to eat that a lot of you are in, right? If you don't hunt, if you don't go out here and do this content, if you don't go out here and do this, you don't get no money in, right? So what I had to do was do a deep dive to add to my already base of knowledge to say, okay, what I know is even when I wasn't hunting to eat and I was doing content, it didn't necessarily bring money, right? And I'm looking at people who are struggling with content. Like I can tell you what content to do and I can tell you how to be consistent, but you doing the content and being consistent with it is not still doing what you needed to do. I was like, and the landscape is changing with this marketing. So I did a deep dive. I went to my gurus. I went deeper than gurus, took a few courses, all the things, added it to my knowledge, and then I recognized something, right? And it felt like that revolutionary mindset shift I made when I recognized that you should have only one forward-facing offer. Some of y'all were with me the year that I realized that, right? And because that, sometimes people tell you stuff and you hear it in different ways and you like, yeah, I know, but it's not impactful when you hear it, right? So people have been saying all along, you know, you need to have one offer. You need to have a signature offer. You need to have the, you know, you need to focus on one thing. You need to, they tell you that, but they don't tell you in a way that really grabs your attention and tells you why. They didn't tell me, you know, the reason why your business is failing is because you got 1,000 offers and nobody knows what you do. Who you talking to? Wait, what? What happened? Like, so when I recognized it, I was like, oh, y'all are saying it the wrong way. You're saying it in a way that doesn't help us to understand the urgency of us having one offer. Like our business is going to fail if we don't focus on one thing. And until somebody tells you like that, you don't give it the attention that it deserves, right? I feel like that this new way of doing your content is as revolutionary as that. Because now what I understand is why our efforts were not working. We were talking to the wrong people at the wrong time in the wrong places. And so what I set out to do was figure out, well, how do we talk to the right people at the right time in the right places? And baby, I got it. So $97, shaycannon.com/organic. It's up there for $147 for people not in our community. Make sure you use the coupon code. Thanks to Teray, I updated it on the page yesterday. So it's Sixer, all capital, SIXER. Okay, put it in so that you're only paying $97. Dr. LaFerris says, so you already sold us, Shay. I'm just saying, because it's important and I want everybody to know and I want as many people to be there live, because what I know is when I introduce stuff like that, you got a lot of questions. Why? Because you got to undo that programming that wasn't fucking working. but this is what you've always been told, and this is what you thought, but you've been told things out of sequence, right? And so what I'm going to tell you, it's going to take you a minute. You're going to be like, what? Because it's as simple as that main thing, signature offer thing, right? It's simple, but you didn't understand the huge impact of it. This thing is simple, but now you're going to understand the huge impact of doing it a certain way. Okay? Because even with social proof, right? People say, you need social proof. They don't tell you that social proof needs to go, certain social proofs need to go to certain people at certain times of the journey in certain places. They ain't tell you that. Well, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you exactly what kind to do, right? Some of y'all are doing weekly webinars and wondering why ain't nobody getting on there, because you are targeting the wrong people to get on your webinars. The wrong people at the wrong time in the wrong places. It's going to be good, y'all. And I want as many people to come while it's live as possible. That's why this stuff is still an affordable workshop series. Who giving this kind of information at $97? Nobody. So it's still an affordable workshop series. And you know who I really do it for? Y'all. I ain't really said nothing about the workshop outside of this group for real. And when I teach you what I teach you, you're going to understand why too. So I can't wait. I'm excited. So yeah, shaycannon.com/organic. If you have any technical issues, inbox me like Teray did so I can go in there and fix it. And Teray, what I figured out was it was my SAM card that was throwing the problem, the issue. Because it took a long time for me to even get in SAM card to change that thing. And so that's why it disappeared off the bottom page of the sales page, all of that. So yeah. But it's about to be, that's why I said invite your business besties, because we about to go in on 2024 to give value to this group. Right? Now, I'm going to be giving value as much as I can in pockets, right? But what we know is pockets of information don't help your business as a whole. That's where the course comes in. It's on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. The replay will be available. You'll have time to see the replay before we start with the 3-day challenge on Monday. And the challenge is private to only the people who pay for the workshop. So yeah, because what I used to try to do in my workshops is leave time at the end for us to implement, but y'all brains used to be so spent that you ended up just talking. And so we never really got to the implementation. And I feel like that's not enough. We need to get to the implementation. You need to be able to implement while you still have assets to me, right? So yeah, so now I've changed it. As you said yesterday, Dr. LaFera, look, I'm blowing it out the water. We up leveling around this mug. So you get a workshop plus challenge experience. So yep. Only for $97. Y'all better be glad I ain't trying to make a living off these workshops, because good Lord. Well, all right, y'all. Just trying to continuously give value to the community. Zandra, the workshop is on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. I think it's the 13th. It'll take place live at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then the challenge part of it starts the following Monday, which I think is the 18th. It's a 3-day challenge, so it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It will also be at 7 p.m. Eastern time. When you take the workshop, let me drop the link for you in the group, shaycannon.com/organic. Now, this is what's going to happen, y'all. When y'all attend the workshop live, your mind going to be blown. I promise you it is. And now all your business besties that you talk to, you're going to be like, you missed this. It's okay. I put in a process for that. That's why the challenge doesn't start till the following Monday. Okay. They'll have time to come in and purchase and immediately get the replay. Okay. And get caught up so that when we start the challenge, they can join you in the challenge. All right. Because some people don't understand until you come hype with the information. Then they like, shit, I need to know that for myself. It's not going to be too late. Right. Plus, because I be blowing y'all mind, I'm also giving y'all time to process over the weekend. You can take notes. You can go back and look at it again. You can sit there and think about it. Let your mind wander. Go Google shit. Go chat GPT shit. And come back on day 1 of the challenge. And the first part of the challenge, I'm going to let you come with any questions you have now that you've had time to process. And that does not mean that you can't ask questions live during the workshop itself. It just means you have more time. Think it over. Right? At 52 years old, let me tell y'all how I be needing more time to process and think of stuff. Okay? So I'm allowing y'all to have a 52-year-old brain and get more time. over the weekend. Then we're going to start the challenge of implementation on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thank you, Zandra. So the link is dropped. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. This has been a great week. Next week is going to be another great week. I'm going to do a free training next week. I don't know what it's on yet. It's going to be amazing. So join us next week for the morning show and the free training next week and the workshop. And I think Movie Club is next week too, y'all. Movie Club is next Thursday at 7 p.m. The movie is Pain Hustlers, different than the first movie club we did, which was Pain Killers, right? But Pain Hustlers, let me tell you what you're going to learn from that movie. A lot of sales. And we need sales because, see, most of us, we're not salespeople. So we need sales tactics. Pain Hustlers is great with that sales, baby. Watch it. Watch it. I can't wait to share with y'all. Heather said her 55-year-old brain is always blown. Hilarious. All right, guys, let's get out of here.
We have a work group tomorrow, right?
Yes, we do. Thank you for reminding me. We do have our work session tomorrow. I have so much going on for y'all. I be forgetting how much value I'm bringing y'all these days. Yes, we have our work session tomorrow from 12 to 4. It is a pinned post. Check it out. The link is already there. You can just come in at 12. You can come in and out as you want to. But let me tell you, if you don't come in at between 12 and 12:15, come in and shut up. 12 and 12:15 is when we're talking and networking and getting to know each other. But at 12:15, heads down. So if you come in after 12:15, you're welcome to come in, but mute it up and don't come on here and say, hey, y'all, none of that. We don't want to hear shit. We don't want to hear nothing. Quiet work session. You can use the chat. All right. All right, y'all. Thank you for that, Teray.